Hi, I'm Kevin Rutherford. Welcome to RG's Talent Tips. Today I'm going to show you how to make analytics more meaningful. Let's dive right in. So the bottom line with analytics is simple. To make analytics more meaningful, you must be able to answer the business's key questions. Equally, you have to measure what is meaningful for your company and not necessarily use best practices. If you don't know what to measure, you cannot gain any insight from it. Worse, if you measure the wrong thing, your conclusion may actually lead you down a path that can negatively impact business performance. So in our research and our work with clients, we have observed 3 challenges that companies typically face when trying to make analytics more meaningful. The first is criticality. Where should I focus my talent analytics? The second thing is credibility. How can I increase the credibility of the HR data? And third is capability. How do I design or upskill a talent analytics team? So for today's tip, we're only going to zero in on point number 1, criticality, where you should focus on talent analytics. Given that less than 20% of leaders believe talent analytics are based and focused on the right business issues, you must be laser focused on business priorities and tying your HR results to the business results. They're looking for HR to connect the dots. So let's go to the blackboard and review some analytics prioritization principles that you should be following before you actually start. So number 1, one of the first things that we want to think about is to conduct what we call prioritization exercise. And that's based on the key business questions. In essence, know what you're looking for up front. Prioritize it to match the business conditions. The second key thing is that we want to identify the most scalable opportunities for impact. And again, here we're saying which things have the biggest and broadest impact on the organization, not just one little finite segment. And then third, we want to create a roadmap for action and investment. This is probably the most important because if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. Having that plan in place is absolutely critical. So now I'm going to share with you one of the tools that we use with our clients when we build out their analytics programs. We typically ask ourselves and our clients over 100 questions that we've created around human capital that help accurately assess the connection between business and people priorities. So as I walk through these, I'll show you how measuring these areas will make your analytics more meaningful. And in order to do that, you must answer the business's key questions. That means you must be, again, laser focused on business objectives, not typical HR metrics. So let's go to another slide here. Most metrics are important, but not all metrics are created equal. So when you're deciding what you should measure, think about what the most important things are that you need to know in each area of HR and how they impact the business. The idea is that you want to focus on the things that matter most, and we identify these areas by creating and using a specific set of questions. So let's take a look at each one of these. So I've got here 10 specific areas that we look at: workforce demographics and diversity, workforce productivity, workforce health and safety, workforce relations and engagement, compensation, training and development, essentially all the primary areas of HR. Our 100 questions are built around these specific things. So let me give you some examples that might be helpful to you when we talk about what are some questions that are talent related that impact the business. So let's look at workforce planning, for example. In the first one here, our question might be, are our highly experienced and skilled talent developed in positions that require their skills? Or could any of these positions be staffed maybe with less experienced talent? That's a great question that the business may want an answer to. Another one could be workforce compensation. So let's look at something like, what is the percentage increase in employee performance as the result of every 1% increase in pay? Now that's a different one, right? You don't typically see that in HR, but I guarantee you business wants to know that. Here's another one. Let's look at workforce turnover. So what is our voluntary turnover rate among individuals in critical roles? What are the associated costs to the business for those people leaving? And then lastly, let's look at one more. Let's look at staffing and recruiting. How accurate are our pre-employment tests in predicting the quality of a hire? Notice how all of these things are talent impacts that actually focus on the business. So now what I want to do is kind of transition, and I want you to take that list of 100 questions here that are all based in these 10 areas and skinny it down to the 10 to 15 most critical ones that you believe have the biggest impact on the business. Next, you want to share your list of prioritized questions with the leaders and then ask them to prioritize their top 10 to 15 questions that they want answered, because now you have their opinion and your opinion, and between the two of you, you can agree on what is the focus and impact that you want HR to have in relation to the business. So let's look at that next. Let's look at that next piece. If we come over here and we look at these are the human capital questions. Remember I said we want to narrow these down to some of the top 10 to 15. So here's some that I've created as part of my top 10 to 15. And again, I'm not going to read each of these and go through them, but let's just take a look at a few. So number one here, what is our revenue per employee? Is it higher than our competitors? How does it vary across lines of business or geographies? Guarantee you that's something they may want to know. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say number 3. How many dollars of operating profit are generated for every dollar invested in compensation and benefits? In essence, are we getting a return on our people? Let's take a look at one more. Let's say number 5. What percentage of our workforce is promoted, and how does that compare across demographic segments and lines of business? Those are just 3 little quick samples that your business might want to look at. But the key is you only focus on the top 10. So what you see is that in this example, this is a business conversation about how talent impacts business results. I think you would agree that oftentimes this is very different than the conversation we normally have with leaders. This way, if we can include them, the good thing for you is once you've completed this exercise with them, you now have their attention, you have their focus, and you have their support for HR initiatives that tie to their key business objectives, not yours. But the good news is there's an added bonus. And that's because once they give those to you, they just created your departmental KPIs for you. They told you what was most important for them. And if HR wants to have a contribution to the business, you focus on things that they want to find out about. So, if you like this idea, you can download our list of 100 questions by visiting the link below. That's my gift to you. So, in sum, make sure that you're getting the most bang for your analytical buck by measuring what is most important for your organization's needs and what will deliver the most meaningful insight. Work back from the business strategy and prioritize the most critical business questions that need to be answered today as well as the future. So, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something that you can apply right away. If you did and want more, please subscribe to our channel below and check out our website for even more content, handouts, and free tools that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. Until next time.